Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome to HOI4 and the Man the Guns expansion, as well as the Ironclad 1.6 patch. So I can't wait to jump into this expansion, show you guys some of the features. I will say right from the start here that I am absolutely loving it. If you don't know, obviously from the picture here, the main focus of the DLC is on the Navy. Completely changes the entire naval aspect side of the game, which is very much needed because, as we'll talk about as we play this episode here, the naval side of the game was pretty much lacking. It wasn't very good. So it does change the naval game completely, and it's so different that I'm still learning it, very much learning it, guys. I played one campaign as Japan, and I didn't get very far. I got into late 1939, so I'm definitely not an expert with all of the changes to the naval side of the game, and there's so many of them that you're going to need to play several campaigns before you really understand, how everything works properly, and how things should be optimized, what the best fleet composition is, task force composition. It's going to take us a little while to learn that, so keep that in mind, that if you're watching this, a year from now, that I'm still, pretty new to the new mechanics. So yes, it completely revitalizes the game by changing up the naval aspects. However, the biggest addition actually comes in the patch, not the expansion, and that's the addition of fuel. Fuel is a complete game changer, guys, and that's for all aspects of the war, from land, sea, and air. Just completely changes the game up in so many ways that are actually unexpected. I'm quite surprised at how fuel has actually fixed some of the problems I've had with HOI4 for a long time that I didn't even expect to be improved with just the addition of fuel. Just a massive change, and I just can't wait to show this to you guys. So let's go ahead and hop into it, guys. We're gonna be starting a new game. This is the game I've been playing, is Japan. I got to October 10th, 1939. Watch out on the channel because I'm actually going to be showing you guys some content from this playthrough, hopefully the same day as this video coming out, if I can get it recorded. So yeah, keep in mind that should be coming up soon, and I'll tell you why I want to show you guys some stuff on that once we get started. I want to get into the game. So we're going to be starting 1936 course, and we're going to be playing as the United States. Now, in the last Hearts of Iron 4 campaign we did on the finale, I talked about whether we were going to do Japan or United States. I thought those would be the best ones to do because I wanted a naval major power, and we had just done the United Kingdom for the last expansion release, Waking the Tiger. That was our first campaign, so I wanted to do somebody other than UK. So the US, it's been a long time since we played as the US on the channel. I want to say it was the summer of 2017 when we did that Democratic playthrough as the United States. So this time, since we did a Democratic playthrough last time, I want to do something a little bit different. So I was kind of waffling between a fascist or a communist playthrough, and I decided on a communist playthrough, and that's because I have a really cool setup that I would really like to do, guys. So first of all, let's go and do and I'll show that to you guys in a second here, but these are the new custom game rules. This is another addition I think was added in the patch. I don't think it's part of the expansion. I'm not entirely sure though, so I could be wrong on that. These were here before the major nation buffs, and we're going to go ahead and buff. We're going to do them every AI country with the exception of ourselves. Let me just pay attention while I do this because I always end up buffing myself on accident, and then I have to go back and change it. So yes, everybody's buffed here, and we're only going to do one this time, guys. I know I almost always do two in my playthroughs, and the reason why I'm only going to do one is because of that little part at the bottom there. Army fuel, Navy fuel, and air fuel consumption. Negative 20%. If you take it up one more, it's negative 40%. That's massive. That means that the armed forces are using almost half less fuel than you would be using. Now, for me, that means either one of two things. Either one, the AI is going to basically be able to kind of neglect fuel in a way that kind of takes away from a lot of the strategic elements that fuel adds to the game. Where it's not just something you have to deal with. It's also a weapon that you can use against your enemies, by cutting them off from fuel. Here's a good example just to briefly explain what I mean. The United Kingdom, they're infamous for producing thousands and thousands and thousands of planes, which makes it incredibly difficult to defeat the RAF. Well, they can't do that anymore. They can build the planes, but they won't be able to keep them fueled. If you cut off their fuel supplies, they can have thousands of planes, and they won't be able to run them. So that's just one of the many aspects that fuel makes how the fuel can make the game better. So I don't like that it changes it to 40% and makes it almost irrelevant. So for me, either that makes it's too big of a buff, or that's saying that the AI has not been properly programmed to use the fuel, and so that's why Paradox has given them such a major buff. I don't know. I haven't played enough to say in my other campaign if the AI handles the fuel or not, but I would like to test that in this one. So we're gonna see. We're still gonna get a challenging campaign in our setup. I'll show you why it should be challenging, even though we're the powerful United States. So I don't think we need to buff them all two. We'll do one for this first campaign. Maybe next campaign we'll go to two if we see that the AI does kind of suck with their fuel supplies. So as far as all these settings, I'm pretty sure they're all gonna stay default. This is mostly for multiplayer. If you're playing a multiplayer campaign where you want to have some restrictions. One of the key ones is like paratroopers, because paratroopers can be really exploited by humans, and obviously a human can defend against it a little bit better than the AI can. Coups and boosting party popularity can be annoying in multiplayer as well. So yeah, these are all multiplayer rules. We're not going to mess with them. This is what we're going to be changing: the AI behavior. So this is actually one of my favorite additions of the expansion or patch. I don't know. Once again, I don't know what the custom game rules were added by the patch or expansion, but this is how we're going to make a challenging campaign that's going to be a little bit different than our traditional Hearts of Iron 4 campaign. So we're going to be playing as the communist United States, and as the communist, we are going to go down the anti-monarchy route. So there's an anti-monarchy national focus that we're going to be taking, and we're going to attempt to. I think you can take it as the communist, because the communist and democratic branches are shared. So I might need to look at that. But regardless of whether or not we can take the focus, that's going to be our goal. We're going to go anti-monarchy. So all of our enemies are going to be monarchies, most of them anyway. So we're going to have Germany restore the Kaiser. I've never seen the AI go down that route before, so should be pretty fun seeing that. And then the other thing, so Britain is, a constitutional monarchy, but we're going to have them go down the Empower the King's party. Now, the hope is that this will result in them allying with Germany. So we should have a German-British alliance. In addition to them going down the monarchy route, we're going to have the Dutch go down the monarchy route as well to restore the Queen. So we should have 3 monarchies in Europe. As far as the Soviet Union, we're just going to have them go down their default. There's a few choices here. I guess we can have them do historical if we wanted to make sure they go down the historical route. The alternative is just the capitalist first, but that's going to be kind of irrelevant in this playthrough. So we'll just say historical. Japan now. This is another key for why this is going to be challenging, hopefully, is we're going to have them go down the neutrality route. Neutrality route still results in them allying with Germany, and I think they're more likely to do so if Germany is a monarchy, and it results in them attacking the Soviet Union, which is communist, as we will be. So if we do have an ally, they would be the Soviet Union. So that should result in us going to war with Japan, Germany, Britain, and the Dutch. So basically 2 of the major naval powers, as well as Germany restoring the Kaiser, often results in them building their navy up. So since this is a naval focus expansion, this should allow us to really dig into the naval mechanics with this setup. So I think it should be pretty fun. A few other things we can change here. I want to go ahead and Italy doesn't have a new focus tree yet, so they can still only be fascist. We're going to have them go down the alternate route though, in the hope that they'll ally with Spain to make the fascists a little bit more powerful. In addition to that, rather than have France stand alone as a democracy, let's let them be fascist with Italy. So hopefully there'll be a semi-strong fascist bloc between Italy, France, and Spain. That's the hope anyways. It really, it's not going to be as powerful as the normal fascists, obviously, because they don't have Germany. And then everybody else, what we're going to do with them, we're just going to have them go random. I think there might be one more country you might want to change. But for the most part, everybody's going to go random. And that should make it still be an unpredictable campaign. I don't want to take all of the, all of that out of it. I always like not knowing, what route the AI is going to go on their focus trees. So this should still make it kind of fun, since we don't know, what all the minor countries are going to do. So we'll get all of them set to random. And then Mexico will also be set to random. So that should be interesting. Our southern neighbor, they could go communist. They could go fascist. We have no idea. So I think that's it. I think that's our setup. Yes. So there's not going to be any democracies for the major powers for this playthrough. I think it should be interesting. As far as the other game setups, all this really lets you do is free, decolonize all the regions, so you can decolonize the Americas, Africa, Asia, so on. Basically fragment some of the locations up, which is a pretty cool little thing that you can do there, but we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to have that set up at all. So that looks good. That's all we're going to be doing. And, oops, looks like I closed that. And yeah, this looks good. Made sure that USA is not buffed, because I always forget to do that. I just go ticking everybody up. And that looks good. Let's go ahead and go back. And we're going to be playing on the regular difficulty. I say this every campaign because it always gets brought up, why I don't play with a more challenging difficulty for somebody with as much experience with the game as me. I just don't find, well, first of all, you'll notice that the AI, once again, gets fuel consumption bonuses. More reasons to believe that maybe the AI is not good with the fuel. I don't know. We'll find out in this campaign. But the main reason why I don't do these is because it just makes everything take longer for the player. It doesn't make it more challenging. It just makes you wait longer to get political power, wait longer to get equipment, and wait longer to get techs. It's not fun. It's just waiting, more waiting. And it's not more challenging. It's just more waiting. If you are looking for an elite playthrough, my Soviet Union campaign last year was an elite playthrough, which actually was really challenging, but not because of the difficulty. You would have to watch. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but it was a pretty fun campaign. All right, so this is good, guys. Let's just go ahead and start it. And yeah, we're going to be playing as the Communist United States. Now, I'm going to try and show you guys the most optimal way to get the best setup for the United States when it comes to the national focus tree. So we're going to pick our focus first. This is the massive new focus tree here, guys. And I'm really liking it for the United States. I've been going through the bonuses and stuff, and it's a pretty good tree. It's one of the better ones, I think, in my opinion. Now, with this tree, there's a lot of focuses that are really good that can only be taken if you're a democracy. However, you get to keep them even if you go communist or fascist. Some of these you can't get if you go fascist. So the Continue the New Deal branch here is actually shared between the communist and democratic America. So some of them you can't take unless you're communist, and some of you can't take unless you're a democracy, but many of them are shared. So that's another reason why we're going to be able to do this really optimally, where we get some of the best democratic bonuses by getting them first. This is the other route here is the fascist route. So all these are the fascist ones. And then there's another one. It looks like this. So it looks like these are tied to one of them. They're actually not. These are all democratic ones, and you have to choose between limited intervention or neutrality act. And we're going to want to go down this route first, and I'll explain why real quick. So if you look down here, Scientist Haven, to get the 6th research slot, because each side does provide one research slot, one right there on that side, and then one somewhere on this side right there. American Institute of Sciences. To get the 6th one, you have to be a democracy. So, if you want to do this optimally, you should play as a democracy until you get the research bonus. And then there's also a lot of other great bonuses on this side. This one requires you to be a democracy. This one, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but it also, I think, requires you to be a democracy. This one here does not. So as long as you have these 3 here, you're good to go. Same thing with Manhattan Project, does not require a democracy. This one does, though, wartime industry. So if you wanted to get that one, you'd have to go all the way down here. There's a couple other ones I want to say. I think, these ones right here also require a democracy. So if you wanted these ones, I don't know if they're worth it, though, honestly, because this one just gives you a pay farm subsidies. They all change the Great Depression modifier, but you do that over here, so that's irrelevant. It does give you a pay farm subsidies decision. I don't know if that's worth it or not. This one doesn't do anything other than the change into the Great Depression modifier. And then this one gives you 5 extra building slots. I don't know if it's worth it, guys. Delaying going communist just to get those 3. So these 3 you can get even if you go communist. So basically we cannot go get the suspend the persecution, the one that leads you down the communist branch, until after we've knocked out the democratic ones. So we're going to be starting with the Continue the New Deal. We are going to do the Neutrality Act, since, of course, the limited, it's not going to affect us, so there's no reason to go down this branch if we're going to be communist. I think this is the best option for us, guys. So let's go ahead and select it, and then we'll get some of the other stuff taken care of now that we have our national focus done. So that does mean that with us focusing on getting those democratic national focus is first, it means that the Civil War, which is, I think there's always supposed to be a civil war if you go communist or fascist, you might be able to avoid it, but I'm not entirely sure. The Civil War, which is going to be our main conflict in the early game, is going to be a little bit later than it typically would, since we are kind of, I don't know, you can say we're kind of gaming it a little bit by trying to get the democratic focuses first. So that's why I'm going to be doing some videos with the Japan playthrough, guys, because it's going to be so long for us to really dig into the warfare side of things. So with the Japanese campaign that I've already been playing, I'm going to do some videos of that, guys, so that we have some stuff on the channel that's, more oriented towards the combat side of things, since this one's going to be kind of slow. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of, as we always do, all of our air wings so we can build them ourselves, because I don't like their sizes and having to change it. I find it far easier to just do it ourselves. And it looks like there's a few of these I did not disband. Why is that? Yeah, I don't know why I didn't disband those. Let's go ahead and get all of them disbanded. All right, excellent. All right, so those have been disbanded. We're going to want to build more air wings to get them training, because that's one of the new things in the expansion, is that you can now get air experience. And not just the air experience up here, of course. I mean that your planes, each individual air wing can get experience, which really changes things up. We're going to go ahead and I'll talk while I build these out. And I guess it doesn't really matter. I want to put them we'll put them in a large one so that we can keep all of our planes training in the same base. And one of the things this really changes is, before, the way I used to, do we want to train our bombers up? Yeah, I guess we can train our bombers up, sure, why not? Although they're interwar bombers and pretty garbage. Yeah, we might not even use those. But I think they do keep the experience. Yeah, you know what, we'll train them up, because I think they do keep the experience even when you change up their equipment and you upgrade them. So we'll get those guys out there. We'll go ahead and put the close air support, even though they don't have much of them. We'll get them training anyways, and then we'll put some fighters out there too. All right, so we're going to change all those guys up, and then we'll go ahead and have them do pilot exercising so that they can increase their experience. Now, one of the things that this changes is the fact that, anybody who's watched my campaigns knows that usually when I need to move an air wing really far away, or I just decide I don't need it, I just disband it. I can always build it out easy enough. It takes just as long to move them as it does to put new planes in an air base. But now, if you do that, you lose all the experience. So I find it's made the air game a little bit more realistic, because I need to actually move the planes from wherever they're at, because I want to keep the air experience. So I like that. Nice new addition. We're also going to go ahead and train up our navies. Obviously, the big focus looks a lot different, guys, as you guys can see. Now we have, each fleet is broken down into task force. So each of these are our task force here. And I really like this system quite a bit, guys. But yes, we can also train these guys up with naval exercises. It does cost a ton of fuel. As Japan, it's been kind of challenging managing my fuel supplies. But we're the United States. We've got a lot of fuel. So I'm just going to train, I might just train everybody, honestly, which means we're going to want to change up these task forces a little bit, maybe combine them just to make it a little bit easier to manage them, because I think we'll just put them into, yeah, I know what we'll do. Let's just take all of these and then place them into one, and I think that would be, oh, it looks like they do have to move. All right, but that's fine. We'll let them move real quick before we start them training. And you know what? These guys can stay as is. I just want them all to be in one task force, just to make it easier to manage. So let's go and merge all of them. And some of these, if they're next to each other, like this orange one here, yeah, we might just go ahead and put them into the yellow and get them all merging. Over here, where are these orange ones? Okay, these guys, we'll just merge them here as well. And then I think the red ones that are in the Philippines, yes. So let's go to merge them. All right, fantastic. So we'll wait to train them just for a minute. We'll let all of our fleets get moved and stuff before we actually start training them up here. And the other thing we need to go ahead and do is take care of stuff on the top bar. Let's go ahead and pick our techs. Should be easy enough. Let's go ahead and get these. Some changes in the tech tree as well that we'll see as we kind of dive into this. I'll talk about them as we see the changes. So we'll get all the standard stuff for right now. I think we want to go ahead and get the fighters so we can have better fighters starting to build, although I don't know how much production we'll have for them. Since we do have the, we do have the really shoddy understirred isolation, so we build military factories and civilian factories extremely slow. We're actually not going to build any of those for right now. I think we'll be fine without them for a little while. And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing on our fuel situation so that we can secure the fuel situation for the future. The United States does not have a very high fuel stockpile capacity, especially compared to Japan, only 184,000. So that's why we're able to completely fill it up here. You can see that it's going up. Those green arrows are telling us that it's going up, and we'll have it completely full in 14 days. So that's just because we don't have very high capacity. Sorry about the vehicles going by. It is about that time right now, guys. So yes, let's go ahead and build a fuel silo. We'll build it there. 60% is okay. I think there's some 70% locations, but yeah, there's not. It doesn't get too much better than that. So yeah, we'll build one there, and then let's build. I like keeping my fuel in the same area. I guess we'll build one right there as well, just because it's a nice 70%. And then the other thing that we're going to want to do is build up the infrastructure in our high fuel producing states. So that we can, in fact, it'd probably be smarter to do it the opposite way here, but you know what, so that we build these quicker, but yeah, we're going to reach the fuel capacity, I think, so it might be better to do it this way. So let's just build these up. I think these are the two highest fuel producing states in the country. Yeah, so let's build up our fuel reserves with our infrastructure increases, and that should really secure our fuel situation for the future. With the military factories, it looks like we need to get a few things. We need to get the motorized. Oops, thought I had them grabbed. Apparently I did not. All right, let's put these guys right here. We could do some more planes, I suppose. We won't do any fighters until we get the new fighters, since we're building those. Let's do close air support. I don't think we'll be able to build these, honestly. Yeah, I doubt we'll have the... Yeah, oh, we're already building fighters. That's fine, I guess we'll leave them there. You know what, nah, we're too short on military factories right now. So let's not do that. All right, let's put all the factories towards these. We could also do a bit more towards motorized, but you know what, we'll wait to do that. Let's see, I think we need to get the naval bombers first. And that'll be our final factory. All right, excellent. As far as the ships go, they're building really early hulls right now. So if there's any ones that don't have a lot of progress done, we're just going to go ahead and delete those. Yeah, I don't see any reason to build these, crappier versions unless they've had a little bit more progress, such as these guys here. This is another one that we'll get rid of, and these guys as well. All right, just so we can start building better ones sooner. All right, so we are going to want to put all the dockyards towards the cruisers there, and you'll notice you can no longer put 15 dockyards for every ship. Now the capital ships can only use 5 dockyards. The screens can use 10, and then you can use as many as you want for convoys, and that's another thing that we need to get down here at the bottom. We'll just, once, oh, it looks like we got one to put there. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and just do it this way. This way we'll do it. So that as they finish building, make sure that they're all building one, and as they finish building, they'll all go to the next ship, so that we can get all these finished up. All right, yeah, that looks good, guys. I'm seeing that we're short on rubber. We don't want to lose too much production on our planes, so we will go ahead and trade for some rubber. We will trade with, I guess it doesn't really matter who we trade with for the rubber, so we'll go ahead and trade with the Dutch East Indies. And then we also need, we can't build anybody right now. We need to get all of our troops training. Yes, that is right. So let's go ahead and just create like one big ol' training army. And I might actually move all these guys first. Yeah, let's move them all to like one central location on each side of the coast. Move all these guys over here, put them into an army as well. These guys can go over here as well. All right, and it looks like these guys actually do not need to be in that army. We'll put them into a different one for right now. The Big Red 1 division, I think, is one of the few divisions that we have that's fully trained. It looks like we got a CAV division as well. So let's go ahead and take these guys, put them in here, get these guys training up, and they can go in that army right there. So we'll just have 2 armies, one for those that are trained and one for those that are not. Although, as we change up the division designs, they're gonna need to get more training anyway. Of course, I could use this here if I wanted to be efficient. Just take them all and put them in the training army. I guess that'd be the most easiest way to do this. All right, fantastic. So everybody in our army should be training up now, with the exception of those that are already trained. So I think that's all we needed to take care of, guys, until we get our ships mobilized over here so that we can get them training up. So we'll just watch them and make sure that once we get them all in here, once they all move and get into the new task force, we'll go ahead and get them going out and training. Right now, we'd get the fuel reserves completely full in 15 days. Once we get those ships out there, though, that's not going to be the case any longer. Looks like we're waiting for 11 more ships here, but we can go and start getting these guys training. Now, the way we're going to want to do this, we're going to set the repair priority to high, and then we want them to automatically split off. I don't usually use this very often because it results in damaged ships getting, often getting snatched on their way to the dockyard into a battle and then getting sunk. So I usually don't use this. We're going to use it now because if you don't, then your whole fleet will have to go back to repair them. And when you're doing this training, guys, they, good God, they get damaged incredibly often, like way more than they ever would in realistic training. I mean, I'm talking about like half of their strength here. They'll lose half their strength. And it's pretty consistent. It takes a while to get them trained just because of that, because it does take so long. So let's it looks like everybody's done here. So let's go and get these guys trained up. I keep getting messed up because now all of the missions are moved down here. So I'm still not used to that. So they're going to go out there and train, and we're going to assign all of them to do that. So let's get these guys going out. And yes, that's right. We also need to, and this is the reason why I wanted them to be in as few fleets as possible, so that I don't have to click too much. So we're going to make sure that all of them are training and set to automatically split off. Oops. Also, this is another interesting element with the reinforcements. We'll look at that in the future in the task force composition editor and stuff. All pretty cool. Obviously, we need to take our time digging into it, guys, because there's a lot to it. So I don't know if we'll be able to support all these ships training at once. We'll find out, I suppose. So hopefully we don't get in a point where we can't support it, because then I'll have to like have them take turns. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like we can support them because we're America. That's ridiculous. Oh, maybe not. All right, now that they're actually getting out, you can see it's going to take a lot longer now for us to fully build up our fuel reserves. But even then, we're still going up because we just have so much. And what is this guy doing? Is this a new destroyer? I think it's the new destroyer that we just finished up. Where is he located here? Okay, he's right over here. So we'll put him into the yellow fleet, I suppose. Just go ahead and merge these guys. One thing I really like about all this, besides the fact that, you can change the color of your, each fleet, change the color and, changing, all of the icons and all that kind of good stuff, which is cool. But you can do it for each task force. So you can kind of base them on, what they're going to be doing. So I do these for my mine guys. You can do like maybe the sharks for the submarines or something, or the skull, or the submarine, of course. I guess that made more sense. But yeah, I really like that about it. Pretty cool overall. All right, so since we're really just going to be letting our ships build up, and we've got an event here, a couple events. All right, well, let's go and read them. Representative criticizes president. During a recent debate on tax reform, a representative launched into a long-winded speech about the many failings of the administration. According to him, no right-thinking American could possibly want to support the policies of the president, whatever their party affiliation may be. His harsh words seem to have had an effect, as a number of representatives previously thought firmly behind the policies of Franklin Delano Roosevelt made noises of support. All right, so 20 representatives go in opposition. I haven't even looked at that yet, guys. This is the new Congress here. You can see how much support we have in the Senate, how much support we have in the House, and that does determine your abilities to do national focuses, certain decisions. It's pretty important as a democracy. It's kind of a cool aspect. It almost made me want to play as a democracy again, but with the way we're doing it, we're going to be playing as a democracy for a little bit, so I think that's fine. So we lost a little bit of support, and it looks like the senator speaks out against government policy as well. All right, I'm not going to read this one since it looks like it's the same thing. We're losing 4 senators. All right, well, that's a shame. That means we might not be able to get certain national focuses done. Might have to wait. We're getting those buildings knocked out fairly quick. It looks like they're all deploying over to the Atlantic. You know what? I suppose I'm fine with that. We don't really know. I'll probably have to move all these guys around any damn way. Let's go ahead and make sure that these merge with them. All right. Excellent. So all of our ships are training up. We're going to want to make sure that we pay attention to this and pull ships out as they get trained, so that we're not wasting fuel. Obviously, that would be good. It looks like we're training up pretty quick. We should have them done here fairly quick. We already got a solid amount of Navy experience. Navy experience is even more useful than it was before, and you'll see why here in a little bit as we start going down the naval tech tree. So we did finish up our fuel silos. So that's got us up to 294. Yeah, that is not enough, guys. We're going to build a couple more fuel silos. I think that would be wise. So we're not going to have any more room in Texas. So let's just go with, it doesn't really matter. I suppose we'll go with the 60% locations here. I kind of want them all down here in the south. So we'll put 2 more there. And yeah, we're building fairly quick. So what we're going to do, let's make sure that our fuel reserves are just going to be solid. We're not going to have no problems with fuel, hopefully for a while. And just do that through and finish up our first national focus. And Germany is now embroiled in the Civil War. Of course, their Civil War to oppose Hitler does happen really quick, unlike our own Civil War. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Hopefully, the monarchists win. That's what we want to happen in the campaign. So let's go ahead and select another national focus. Of course, we're going to go with the Neutrality Act. It does seem that this will gain us further support in the government. We're going to get political power, and then of course we get that national spirit, the Neutrality Act. So we'll grab that one first. We can now change up our government, modify our government. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to want, you'll notice that some of these guys are free. That's what one of the focuses for the communist. You can get these 3 for free, and then the fascist one have these 2, and they're not free. They're just a little bit cheaper. But we're going to go ahead and do, as we always do, the silent workhorse, so that we can go ahead and get our political power gain up quicker. I think that'd be the best way to do it, so we can start unlocking these a little bit faster. We do have some decisions available. I want to say, yeah, that does require political power, so we're not going to do it for right now. If we need the support, then we'll do it. Actually, let's just go ahead and say we don't want to do these, so we don't get the notification. So let's get mechanical computing next. Make sure that we get the best research bonuses here. And once again, we do need to be paying attention to the ships here. I suppose what we could do is take a look at the ship designer. I'd really like to make sure that we have that in this episode. And what is this? Oh yes, the second London Naval Conference is about to happen. So this is a new aspect with the naval treaties. You'll notice with our national spirit here, the London Naval Treaty signatory, that does mean that we can only build carriers up to that production cost, 9,500, cruisers up to 5,300, and heavy ships at 10,000. So it's just one way they're trying to represent the naval treaties and restrict how much you can build. I like it. It's pretty cool. So we've already finished most of the ships here. That's fantastic, because yeah, I wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to take a look at the ship designer in this episode. So I always sort them by the actual ship type, because there's just so many ship designs now. So you can convert battleships and cruisers into carriers, which is just really, really cool. Just taking a look at our current ship designs, we have a lot of naval experience, so we're going to want to make some adjustments, though the ship designs are decent for the Americans. Unlike the Japanese, their ship designs are pretty garbage in the beginning. Just taking a look at our carrier and the ship designer, since I guess it's the first time some of you guys might have seen it if you haven't been following the developer diary. There's different slots for modules. Some of them are open. Like this one here lets you, choose what module you want to put in there. Deck armor, hangar space, a secondary battery, so they'll do more light attack damage, which I guess I can click on that so you guys can see it. So we do a little bit more light attack. Hangar space obviously will increase our deck size, while deck armor increases our armor. So there's those ones, and then you have the ones down here, which these ones aren't always open. Like this one has to be a hangar because obviously it's a carrier. This one has to be armor or a hangar. This one has to be anti-air. We could upgrade our anti-air, I suppose, make it a little bit better. It looks like we don't have any radar or sonar. You can put either one of those there. And then the engine's already level 2. And then the secondaries is, of course, for us to do a bit more damage. So it just opens up a lot of choices here. Like, for instance, if we wanted to reduce the production cost a slight amount, obviously it's not a huge amount, but if we wanted to reduce the production cost, we could go to a secondary battery, say, hey, our carriers aren't going to be fighting anybody. We don't need the battery tube. We could just completely remove it. You don't even have to have this here. So I really like that. It just allows a lot of customization. For right now, we're gonna go ahead and change up our anti-airs, I think. I think that would be a good thing to change. And we have a lot of experience. I don't think there's anything else for us to change. I like the way it currently looks. We might want to go ahead and change up our, if we build one of these, which I think it would be a good idea to build one, though it seems I don't have some, oh, I'm over the amount. Yes, that's right. That won't work. I didn't think about that, that we are limited on how large we can get. So that's actually the most you can do. So that's unfortunate. We did just waste 6 experience, but it's fine. We're building a lot of experience right now. Yeah, we do have to keep that below. I didn't even realize that. My bad, guys. So that is the carrier that we can build, and we are going to go ahead and build one of those, I think. But let's take a look at some of our other ship designs here, because obviously you can't even build the Colorado class because it's just too large at the moment. So we'd have to reduce the size if we wanted to get some battleships going. We got the heavy cruisers, light cruisers, destroyers, and the submarines. Let's go ahead and build a carrier. Because why the hell not? And we'll move it. I kind of just want to put it over here for right now. Well, we don't have any carriers over there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and build one carrier over here, I guess. Because I don't think there's any starting here, though this is going to be a new carrier. So let's put it over here. We can always move one of the older ones. So we'll have our new Yorktown class moved over here. Now, as far as ship names, ship class names, guys, since you can name every class, the way I'm going to do this in this playthrough is for the battleships and carriers, we're going to name off the historical classes because I am familiar with the class names for carriers and battleships. So yeah, we'll be naming them after the historical classes and when they came about, the time. So, I already got names for the 1940 carriers, the 1944 carriers. We're good to go. Same thing with battleships. Now, as far as the other ships, including the cruisers and all the other screens, and obviously heavy cruisers aren't screens, but the light cruisers, destroyers, and the submarines, these are going to be named based on what they do, because we're going to have a lot of different models. So we're going to have, maybe 3, 4, 5 different destroyer models, all with different tasks assigned to them. So we're going to name them based on their names, because this is the only way for me to kind of really see what they're supposed to do. Plus I don't really know class names for these anyways, but I find it to be too hard when I come up with custom names to figure out what the hell they're supposed to do when I'm looking at them in the fleet view. So that's the way we'll name them. I don't know how we'll do the heavy cruisers yet, because I don't know heavy cruiser class names. I guess I could look it up, I suppose. Or maybe we could have suggested names for that one if we wanted to get you guys involved on it. All right, so let's go and make some changes to our ship designs. I'd love to get some battleships going. Obviously, we also want to take a look at the 1936 destroyers. We want to get some of those, as well as some 1936 Brooklyn class. So let's take a look at the cruisers first. Looks like we have a little bit of room if we want to make some adjustments. The American cruisers were always pretty heavily armored here, so yeah, they got their armor all the way up there already. Just taking a look at our secondary battery could be improved if we wanted to use our experience for that, but we also might want to use our Navy experience for something else to unlock techs and doctrines. That's one thing you can now use Navy experience for. So something to consider if we have half decent light cruisers, that maybe we might want to do that. All right, so this is going to be our naming format for our ships. We name, obviously it's a light cruiser. Prior to that, we're going to have what it does. This is an attack light cruiser. The 2 indicates that it's a 1936 model rather than the early models. And then alpha is that, it's the first variant of it that we've made. So that when we make changes to it, we can easily change. It actually has to be. You have to change the name of it once you make changes to it. So we can easily change that to B. So it'll be 2B, the next version of it. And the reason, of course, why it's an attack cruiser is because that's what it does. This is all about attacking other light ships for the most part. And it doesn't seem it can do any damage to heavier ships, or not much probably. So yeah, it's filled up with the rapid fire guns, the light cruiser battery. You do have 2 choices here. This does affect speed, which gun you have on it. So we could go with a much smaller gun, which would result in our ships being quite a bit faster, but not doing as much damage. And we have quite a few of those. As you can see, we have 3 of them. So we also have the anti-aircraft guns, which I think is pretty important for any cruiser. Kind of support the fleet. We have on here, we have the aircraft facility, which is the catapult. We do have an upgrade for that. The main purpose of these is for detection, sub and surface detection, as you see it go up there. So we are going to want to probably upgrade these as well, make them even better. That'll be our first upgrade to it, actually. I don't think we have better anti-air. We do have better anti-air, so yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade those as well. Though remember, we have to keep behind the 5300 so I don't waste any more experience. Precious, precious experience. Could upgrade the secondaries to do even more damage. Before we do that though, let's make sure there's nothing else I want to do, because yeah, this is fine. This does increase our attack a bit, the fire control, but the later versions do reduce the reliability quite a bit. We could put sonar on there, but this ship here is not going to be oriented towards fighting submarines. So this ship is main goal will be, and will change their icon here to indicate that their main goal will be to fight other light ships. So I think that's it. So yeah, we could upgrade that because yeah, we upgraded everything else and we have a little bit of room left. So let's go ahead and change these up, add another secondary, or a better secondary battery for increased damage. All right, so that looks good. It's 12 experience. It's gonna be the attack light cruiser 2A. So let's go ahead and save that. And then we're gonna wanna get some of these building as well. Go and pop those up towards the, well, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but and then let's have them finish these crappier, the crappier destroyer and hull here, or excuse me, destroyer and cruiser here, before we really pump too many into these. Plus there's more stuff I want to get. We need to get a battleship done, we need to get destroyers done. I need to I actually need to look at our fleets here. Oh, the Pennsylvania's done. The Pennsylvania is our pride of the fleet, which is a special thing you can use your political power for that makes it a little bit better. It also increases the rate that it gains experience, which is the reason why it is done. So what we're going to want to do is just pull these out as they finish up, so we're not training them needlessly. So let's just have this guy probably return back to port here, which I think he was stationed. I don't actually know where we had him stationed, honestly. I think it was over here. So let's put him back in San Diego. And then another thing we need to do, and I'll probably do this off camera actually, but I'll show you guys it as I do it, is we need to change up our priorities for for repairs. So let me just take a look here. If anybody else is done. Now it looks just the pride of the fleet is finished. These guys are done, so let's go ahead and figure out where they've been getting placed. They're right over here. So let's just place them into, it doesn't really matter which fleet, we'll just place them into this one. I think this one is over here. Yeah, we'll place them into this one, get these guys merged. Now when merging, if you want to keep you know, all the icons you've made for them, you want to keep the admiral on there, then you do need to select the fleet that you want to keep first, and then select the other fleet. Or else you'll lose them. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of common sense, but just something I thought I should mention. And then we've got the cruisers, light cruisers done. We're gonna want to build more types of light cruisers. Of course, I want to get a support light cruiser. But before we do that, I would really like to get some battleships going, as well as some destroyers, before we start building like secondary versions of some of these ships. In fact, let's not build battleships because we haven't researched the 1936 models, so we won't do battleships. That's fine. No more battleships going to the fleet for right now. Let's just instead do destroyers, and we'll see what we have left of our experience at that point. We could also do some submarines. So let's do our destroyers, our 1936 destroyer hulls. So this is going to be the sub destroyer. It's going to be focused obviously on destroying subs. So let's go ahead and get the light battery, good light battery on it, so that it can at least defend itself. Though I don't know, man. There's really not much of a big difference here, honestly, on the light attack and piercing. Maybe we just want them to be focused solely, yeah, and it does reduce the cost a little bit. Maybe, yeah, I don't think that's enough really to warrant the shittier stats. But yeah, we will go ahead and get some anti-air, decent anti-air. We will not get the fire control system. It's just not good enough for a destroyer. It just doesn't do much. Instead, we're gonna get the sonar, obviously, so we can, you know, do sub detection. We're going to want to get 2 sonars, in fact, so we can make sure that they're really good at it. We could get a torpedo launcher, and I'm almost tempted to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that so that they can have torpedoes. Might as well. And then for the back here, it's going to be solely depth charges. There we go. So that'd be 35 experience. Design is over maximum count of sonar modules. Okay, so it's not letting us go. Yeah, okay, so you can only have 1 sonar module. So yeah, it seems you can only put the 2 sonars. Since radar goes here, we'll put the sonar here then. Since we don't actually have radar yet, so we can't put that in. So that looks good. This is gonna be 30 experience. I like the look of it. We could reduce the production cost a little bit by putting that light battery in there, but once again, I just don't feel it's worth it. All right, so that looks good. That's our sub destroyer. so let's go ahead and save that. We're going to want to get another destroyer model as well. And then I have a few other things that I have in mind too that I think we're going to do, including making ships that are solely designed around mine lane and mine sweeping. However, what I'm going to do with that is we're going to use early destroyer hull model because, and I'll show this to you guys. I got so much to show you. It feels like we're not going to play it all. You can upgrade your ships to other designs. However, they have to be the same, hull, essentially. You can't upgrade to other hulls, with the exception of changing like the cruisers and battleships to the special carrier hulls, converting them. Other than that, though, they have to be the same hull. So we have all of these early destroyers, which are going to quickly get outclassed, just aren't going to be very good. We could change some of them up to be mine layers and mine sweepers because we don't really care about their stats. So that's something that we'll likely do. As we get closer to the conflict, though, I'm not too worried about it right now. We'll do it in the future. For right now, we've got our destroyers that are focused solely on taking down subs, so we have that. I'd also like to get a support light cruiser, and I think that might be what we do next. We will want to get submarines going as well eventually, but let's do the light cruisers next. And then after that, I think we'll be done with ship designs for at least a little while. Just focus on building the ships that we currently have. So yeah, we're going to want to get a support light cruiser. And I don't know, it might be cheaper to build it out here experience-wise. Not entirely sure which way that would be cheaper. I think it would be cheaper to modify this one rather than starting from scratch. I don't think we're making that many changes. So let's go ahead and duplicate it. I'll go ahead and name it. All right, so this is going to be a support light cruiser 2A, and as I said, this is going to be focused solely on support, so we're going to be reducing these attack values, these light attack and piercing values, by quite a bit. We got the anti-air there, so that's good. I don't know if we'll keep the fire control systems or not. We'll just have to see. Engine's fine, secondary's fine for right now. Might reduce the armor, I'm not entirely sure yet, but we are going to want to change all of these guys out. We don't want these anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to do, for this first one, anti-air here. Improve that, keep that there, obviously. For this one here, I mean, I would like better spotter. Well, we have anti-air there, that's good. Let's do depth charges here. All right, so that looks good. I think that this is fine. I want them to be very much focused on anti-air a bit. Can't really change this up unless we just want to completely remove it and give him no light attack. Could reduce his armor a bit to increase the speed some. Yeah, let's see, we're at 3, so that doesn't make a massive difference there. It's a little bit faster like this, but you know what, I think it's fine if it's heavily defended. That's the main thing I wanted to change up. I want more anti-aircraft, and then I wanted to give them some depth charges. So that's fine for right now. We might make adjustments in the future. One question though is, do we want to keep this or not? You know what, since I know I'm not going to use the fire control systems in the future, let's just go ahead and put the sonar here for right now. Yeah, I think that looks good. It does reduce some of the values, but it's not that bad. So I think that looks good for our support light cruiser. Not seeing any other adjustments, but the main job here is to provide anti-air coverage, specifically in the Pacific, but also we're going to need it in Europe as well. All right, so let's go ahead and save it. Make sure I got everything good. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and save that, and then we'll want to get some of these guys building as well. So let's go ahead and place him here. As far as I think I'm just going to place everything in San Diego for right now. Yeah, let's just place everything here, with the exception of the ones that we're already building. They can build out wherever they're going. I don't really care. So that looks good. And I think that's all we're going to do for right now. We'll work on submarines a little bit later. Let's wait until we get a bit more Navy experience. All right, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and place... we're going to place these into the cruisers, I think. No, the carriers. We need more carriers. All right, so we'll place our dockyards in the carrier. Oh, yes. The last thing I need to do, guys, is we need to assign how many dockyards we're willing to allow to repair. And I'm willing to spend 10 dockyards to be spent on repair right now. So this also shows you what's currently repairing. We have a submarine being repaired right now. So yes, we're going to go ahead and have the dockyards repairing if they need to be, so that we can make sure that we continue to get these guys trained efficiently. It doesn't look like I'm taking as much damage on the training. The Japanese, man, maybe it's the area that I was training in or something. Good God, because yeah, I was not able to train this efficiently. I had a lot of issues, guys. A ton of issues with training. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some of them kind of damaged. But yeah, not the way I was experiencing with the Japanese, since I couldn't get anybody trained because they're constantly, injured. So we do have some decisions here to grant statehood to Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. This does reduce our political power gain. And we get 2 senators that will support the government, making it easier to do things. And plus we get corps in those states, which would of course grant more manpower. None of them are extremely populous, so I don't know how much manpower that would grant. But yeah, I don't think we're going to do any of these right now. Maybe we'll do that in the future. But right now political power is kind of hard to come by. The last notification that we're seeing up here, besides it looks like we're short on chromium. Oh wow, you're almost never short on chromium. Can we just build somewhere for some chromium? Let's just take a look. I don't know where the chromium supplies are located here in the United States, so we're just gonna have to do a search. So yeah, that's gonna be one of the few things that we're probably gonna have to trade for as the US, and we will trade for them from the Soviet Union. That's fine. And then the event that we're seeing once again is just the Second London Naval Treaty. That's just letting you know that if you want to withdraw from it, here's your opportunity to do so. We do not want to withdraw from it. The reason why we don't want to withdraw from it is because of the escalator clause. If you withdraw from it, then it lets everybody else that is a member of it, they can build larger ships, and that just gets worse, I suppose, or better for them as time goes on. Senate votes for government proposal. So in a recent vote, a senator has surprisingly switched sides to vote for a government proposal. So it feels like these are just events that change your current support. I don't know if they're random, how they work, but yeah, we'll take it. 5 more senators. We have more free dockyards. Let's just get this fully going towards that new carrier that we want to get. All right, excellent. So things are going well. Navy experience is building up, and it looks like all of our ships are done training here. So let's go ahead and have them return back to base. And once again, I'm just going to put all of our, make sure they're all assigned here. We're just going to put all the ships in San Diego for right now, I think. And it looks like all these guys are done. So that's good, but it's bad at the same time because that's our main source of experience. This guy's not quite done yet, but he almost is. So let's just let him finish. I'm not going to pull the whole fleet back. And then I don't know where these guys are at. All right, they're up here. I suppose we can put them in San Francisco. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. I wanted to do one other thing here. So let's get these guys. I don't want them training anymore. And one more ship here still needs to be trained up. What about on this side? Yeah, me doing it the way I did it, probably not the best way. So we're gonna have to pull all these guys out, all the ones that aren't done training yet, since I did mix them all up when I had them merging. So let's get all the non-experienced ones, place them into their own separate fleet, so that this fleet can no longer have to be using up our fuel supplies. Though once again, we're already full. That was too easy, man. I don't know where we had these guys based. But I think we'll probably base them in Philly. That looks like the biggest one other than Boston. We'll put them in Philly for right now. We can always move them around later in the future. So these guys, we do want them to continue training. Let's take a look at these. Yeah, this it does warrant us changing, giving them a secondary fleet. So let's have, I don't know where they were originally assigned. Maybe Puerto Rico? Not sure, but that's where we're going to assign them for right now. So we're going to take all of them and then just take these 3 and then have them create a new fleet and train, my friends, train. All right, looks like this fleet is just about done. I think these guys are currently pairing. That's the reason why they're not done yet. So let's place them into their own fleet, and then the rest of them can go back home. I do want to go ahead and change all these guys up to disable that. While I'm remembering it. I suppose we can do that after I finish. Oh, yeah, we're already done. Oh, we have dockyards too. So let's go ahead and place these into our new cruisers. Probably should get some more convoys as well. And that's what they'll do once they finish up this cruiser hull. We did finish up basic machine tools. Let's go ahead and get the dispersed, oops, excuse me. I meant concentrated industry. So let's get concentrated industry. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys, and I'll let this play, although I know that something's going to pop up, so I'm not going to be able to get anything done. So you can assign, here's the Second London Naval Treaty, we have signed it. So you can determine where you want your ships to repair, because otherwise they just repair in the closest one. The naval base size does determine how many ships can repair there at a time. So the AI doesn't think about that at all. So they'll go to one of these small bases and only one ship can repair there. And yeah, it'll take forever. So it's one thing to consider, guys. I'm probably just gonna, actually anything that's below 5, we'll probably tell them not to repair, and there's no reason to have them do it. They might as well go to the larger ones. So yeah, we'll do that. In fact, I might do it off camera just because, yeah, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get this going. I want to get through at least the first year. Oh, what happened here? Minor scandal. Oh, we lost 40 representatives supporting us. That's a shame. And once again, lacking chromium. Let's go and trade for that. And what are we doing with our factories? That's right, we're currently building these. What I think we're going to go ahead and do, let's go ahead and move that down to the bottom. We'll let these guys finish this. I want to get this one built. In fact, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it this way. We need to get the fuel supplies. Our total stockpile increased. In fact, we might want to build another one because our stockpiles are garbage. Let's just put it right there in the 60%. Try and get these stockpiles up so that we can stockpile a bit more for the conflict. We do have some free dockyards. Let's go ahead and put them into the cruisers, I guess. Yeah, we do need more convoys though. Let's get the cruisers finished up. In fact, let's just go and put a bunch into convoys. And did I finish up? Oh, we did finish up some. Yeah, we might want to use our experience again to design something. We did finish up our national focus, the Neutrality Act. Excellent. Let's go ahead and go to Arsenal Democracy and get all those military factories and dockyards. That's 6 military factories, 6 dockyards, and a ton of experience. So it should be helpful. We can modify our government as well. I don't want to get any more guys here because these ones will be free. So we'll save up for that. Well, if we change to civilian economy, the only one that we're allowed to change to right now, we're wasting a ton of political power, guys. Yeah, I mean, plus there's national focuses that change these as well. But the main reason, yeah, I mean, it's important enough that I think it's worth doing, but not for the civilian economy. And then we'd have to do 150 to go to this, and then, 150 to change again. And so, yeah, I don't think that that's the most efficient way of doing it. So we'll wait to change that. Same thing with free trade. We could change over to export focus. Once again, not a massive focus for us. Instead, I would prefer to get tech bonuses. Let's start out with the industrial concern. Oh, we can't get General Motors. We need to have wartime industry. All right, well, that's a shame. Well, I guess let's go with our ship designer, guys. Mainly because we still need to get our battleship, our 1936 battleship, so we're going to be researching that soon, I think. So I think it makes most sense to go for this. And between, obviously, we're not going to get the coastal defense or the raiding fleet. It's really between the Atlantic Fleet or the Pacific Fleet designers, and I think we might go with the Newport News shipbuilding because of the increased max range and the deck size of the carriers. Now we do lose a little bit of armor on the carriers, but that's okay. I think that's just better for fighting in the Pacific, which we'll be very much focused on in our war against Japan. So I think we're going to get that first. I think that's a good one to start out with, and then we'll get a nice research bonus for our battleships, and they'll also have increased range. What is this about? This is a special measure in nation building in the Philippines. Well, we might not want to do nation building in the Philippines because going down the communist route, we do lose the Philippines as our puppet, unfortunately. So we don't want to go with that. I wouldn't want to use my political power on that right now anyway. Special measures is just one quick way to get more support. All right, well, it doesn't feel like, I mean, we're doing good in the Senate. It's in the House that we kind of like don't have a lot of support right now. We passed the Neutrality Act. Fantastic. Yeah, I didn't click this and say I don't want to be notified. My bad. Let's go ahead and get that done. So we did finish something, maybe? I'm not entirely sure, or we finished repairing something. That's right. Oh, I wasn't building, I only built one destroyer apparently. All right, so that's what happened here. All right, so let's go ahead and place the destroyers here. Make sure that we're building a lot of them. I don't know why I set that. I want the carrier set to only build one though, for right now. And yeah, we want all of these guys building. All right, so let's go ahead and put them into destroyers. In fact, let's go ahead and reduce the cruisers just a bit. Really liking the whole naval system so much better. It does mean we have troops that are done training as well that we're going to have to pull out. These guys might have been done for a little while. Let's make sure that we're not training unnecessarily. And we'll just place them in our little army here for right now. And then we should also take a look at our ships that are currently still training. It seems that these guys are now done. So let's go ahead and make sure that they go back to San Diego. They're done. We don't need them training any longer. All right, so how about these guys? Are they done? They are done. Excellent. Although, once again, it's it's not always necessarily a good thing because we're not getting the experience anymore. I don't know if I have these guys. I don't know if they'll go back out the naval exercise if I tell them to move. Everybody else is currently repairing, it seems. All right. Let's go and let time fly. Like I said, I'm trying to get through the first year. There's just been so much to deal with this. That's why it's taken so long. I swear, it doesn't usually take me this long, guys. Let's go and get the carrier fighters as well. Although we don't really have the production to build them, we'll research it anyways, I suppose. And then let's go ahead and get, I guess, the excavation. All right, excellent. And what decision is available? Oh, a bunch of stuff is available. We should probably say we don't want to be notified of any of this, though that does give the research bonuses, but for the cost of stability. Stability's fairly high, and we could really use the research bonuses. I don't know if we lose those. You know what? I think we are going to do it. I think it's worth, you know, I love research bonuses, guys. So I think we are going to go ahead and give refuge to the German scientist, even if that does kind of limit our political power. I think it's fine. I think it's worth it. Especially getting it nice and early. It does seem we have some troops done training here. Just going to get these guys pulled out. And it looks like we're just about done training all of our troops up. And we'll just keep everybody in one army for right now. We'll arrange all that later, probably around the time of the Civil War, I suppose. Whenever that happens, like I said, it's not going to be happening this episode. We're going to have a late Civil War, unfortunately. It's just going to take us a while if we're able to make it happen. So getting the fuel silos built, we currently are at 406,000. We're going to need a lot more than that, guys. Just because we produce so much fuel, and I want to have as high as fuel reserves as possible. Senator speaks out against government policy. Oh no, more senators standing up against us. Let's go and move these guys. All right, let's make sure that nobody else is training naval-wise. And we did finish Arsenal of Democracy. Excellent. That's more military factories, more civilian factories. Can't get the giant wakes because not enough war support, but we want Scientist Haven. That's what we're working towards getting here. We do have some missing equipment in our production queue, apparently. Yes, we're going to want to get fighters going here. Now that we have those built. Excellent. Oh yes, my planes. I need to take a look. They are done training as well, so let's go and stop them. Got them fully trained. Can we get any more? Not really. I suppose we can do one more air wing of fighters, I guess. Yeah, we'll do that. So that we're making sure that we're training these guys. And train. Excellent. Military factories. Let's assign these. Do we still have a shortage of? Oh yeah, we have quite the shortage of infantry equipment. So let's start ticking our military factories and infantry equipment for a little while at least. And yeah, we'll want to get more stuff here too. And we got to get stuff for our carriers as well, don't we? We will want, and I'll arrange what we have on our carriers later as we get closer to conflict. Let's do carrier naval bombers here. And we're doing the carrier fighters, so we'll wait on those. I won't get the carrier close air support just yet, but we will eventually get those. And I think we'll put the last one into infantry equipment, try and deal with our shortages there. Oh, we have dockyards as well. All right, let's take a look here. Let's put them into, let's do the cruisers. All right, and more convoys. Just trying to get our convoy. We got a lot more dockyards than I thought we do. Just trying to get our convoys built out a bit. We will want to get, yeah, we do need to build something else here, guys. I'm trying to like make some progress in the game because this is going to be the longest video ever. Yeah, I can't really, I can't neglect this. We've got to get some stuff. So we have the submarine class here. We might not even need to make any changes here, honestly, because yeah, they might. Oh no, they don't. All right, so we do need to make some changes. Let's get the torpedo tubes too. They do have the best engines, and then we can either do mine warfare or more torpedoes, which is exactly what we're gonna do. We'll do mine warfare a little bit later, guys. I'm not too worried about mining stuff just yet. As I said, I already have a plan for that. And yeah, we can keep the skull here, I suppose. Yeah, that works. So we'll keep the skull on there. I did want to change their icon up though. We'll just be calling them attack submarines, and we are going to have different types of submarines, so I think it'd be wise because it can be useful using mine warfare. I don't know, maybe we won't. We'll have to see, guys. Let's go and save that, and then we're going to get the submarines constructing. Let's get at least a couple dockyards placed towards them. Maybe 2. And we'll get these guys all moving to San Diego as well. We'll be organizing our fleet in time, guys. This is not a priority right now. It's really just about getting the ships built. So we have our sub-destroyers. We could always build other destroyers if we wanted to. I still can't build the battleships. I think we're going to save our experience for the battleships, guys, since I'm hoping to get those guys researched here soon. But at the very least, I wanted to put... Spanish Civil War has happened. Nationalist Spain has declared war on Spain. I would love to be able to send volunteers. Unfortunately, that's one of the problems with us going down this democratic path first, is that we're going to be quite limited. We're not going to be able to, unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to do anything as long as we're, in our isolation. We're not going to be able to send any volunteers. And I'd love to be able to help the Spain out here, but it's fine. We wanted a strong, and maybe they'll win on their own. That's a possibility too. But we wanted a stronger fascist bloc here between Italy, France, and Spain. So let's go ahead and build. Well, we could get more fuel silos, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. I really want to get our fuel capacity quite high, so that we don't have to worry about it at all. We should have just massive amounts of fuel no matter what's going on. That's one of the advantages of the United States, honestly. Though I hate that we're building... No, this is not optimum, but let's build these around here. I think it's fine, and that'll get us up to, maybe 700-something thousand. So that should be good for right now. And apparently we're not building something. Tactical bombers. Okay. We don't have good tactical bombers yet, so we're just going to wait to get that. And 50 representatives are now supporting us. Excellent. We have more dockyards to assign. Let's go and place these into the... let's do more destroyers and cruisers. All right, excellent. We'll just leave that up there. So are these guys going to train yet? They are not. And we have finished up the research, so we will go ahead and get those building. And we're done with the planes until 1940. Well, we do have to get the heavier models, like the tactical bombers, but I'm not going to prioritize that right now. I feel like there's other things we could be doing. So you see little indicators here. It says that we can spend 100 experience to get a 100% bonus. They have changed the way the bonuses work, by the way, so that doesn't mean that it completes it. It basically splits it in half for the most part. So it would take from 221 days to 118 days if we wanted to, and we can also use those for a lot of these naval equipments, a lot of these pieces. Not all of them, but some of them. So that would be helpful, a thing to use our Navy experience for. However, I would like to get some stuff for us to use our Army experience for. So let's get the field hospitals. You guys know I love field hospitals. So let's get those kind of early on, I think, so we can add them to our armies, and then we'll get to retrain them again and get more Army experience. So just taking a look, we got just these 8 divisions still training. I think the reason why they're a little bit slower to train is because they didn't have all their manpower yet. We had to wait till they got it. We only have 253 manpower until we change up our laws. But like I said, I want to get to the end of this year, guys. That's the goal, is to get through 1 year here in the first episode. And I suppose we can keep, we're just going to keep having issues. Might as well trade for it. We got 2 things done. Excellent. Mechanical computing. We absolutely need radar. So we're going to make our way towards that. Concentrated industry is completed. Let's go ahead and get... you know what? I know that we need rubber, guys, but I don't think we're going to work on that right now. There's just too many other things that we need, so let's not. I want to get the battleships, since we have the bonus for that. So 99 days to get the battleships completed, since we did get the a design company for that. Italy has one in Ethiopia. It took them a little bit longer than usual, and we have 2 more troops done here. All right. And fuel, we've got it at 517,000 right now. We finished up Scientist Haven. Excellent. That's another research slot. Could do Manhattan Project, but we won't, obviously. And I think that's all we needed here. I want to say that there's... this does not require democracy. I want to say we're done with the democratic stuff. This is War Sport. Can't do that one yet. War Sport's just not high enough. Got to get it to 30%, so we probably won't be able to get it, which means we might not be able to get wartime industry unless I can get War Sport up higher. Which, it's the fact that we have the world tension up and we have the pride of the fleet is increasing it some, but just not enough. I think we're going to beeline to the next research slot then. I think before we go for the communist. So let's get this. Make sure that we're researching at full efficiency with all 6 of our slots. Since we will be fighting an early war, the Civil War, which if I had to guess would probably be sometime maybe late 1937. I don't know. So we're going to want to go ahead and get some bonuses for our troops, I think. Make sure that they perform at full capacity. And do we want to get more fuel silos? I almost want to just go up to 1 million. Just make sure that we have a lot. But we're also neglecting a lot of things. Now, obviously, it takes a long time to build the civilian and military factories. We could be working on dockyards, though, right now. That would be efficient. You know what? Let's build a couple dockyards. Let's build like 2 dockyards. We'll build one in California with that 100% bonus. And I'm not going to build in Texas, though. I don't think. Let's build up here instead. Ooh, nice 80% bonus right there. All right, so we'll build 2 dockyards. And then maybe we'll start working on fuel silos again. In fact, let's do that now. We'll build in 100% Texas with those fuel silos. All right, excavation, excellent. We'll have to take a look at our resources, make sure we're not getting anything we don't need. And we can get the basic fire control system. You know, right now we have the 0 one, which just gives you the 5% light and heavy attack. So this would give 10% there plus anti-air bonus. But you notice a massive reduction in reliability. In fact, maybe that's why I was getting so much damage when I was playing as Japan, because I did have these in place in several of my ships. So that might be why I was having issues with that. So I don't know if I want to prioritize that. It does do a lot more damage though, so it's something to consider. Well, we get the smoke generators pretty quickly, 49 days fleet speed when retreating. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll just start knocking out some of those naval techs, because there's a lot of them now, guys. Quite a few of them. Looks like we're done here. Let's go and move them into the army. And looks like it's a representative speak passionately in support of the government. Of course she's right. So we got 25 more representatives. Fantastic. And we have a couple more decisions available as well. We can, just trying to see what these are, amend the budget and research grants. All right, well, where are those located? Because I'm not seeing them. It must be up here. Yep. All right, so amending the budget would be opposed, but yeah, we wouldn't have to devote as many factories to consumer goods. We're not going to do that right now, though. Research grants, that's a nice bonus too, but once again, more senators go in opposition. Not something we'll do right now, I think. Let's save our political power, and we can get that other research bonus, that permanent research bonus. I'm pretty sure those ones, the one with the Italian scientist, I want to say that's permanent. Oh, it's while it's active. It reduces your stability, increases your research speed. So yeah, we're going to want to do that. We might not be able to keep it once we leave democracy, though. I'm not entirely sure. The election of 1936. The day of the presidential election had arrived. Incumbent Franklin D. Roosevelt has already implemented several of the programs referred collectively as the New Deal, intended to take the U.S. out of the Great Depression. While many of the efforts have been popular, his plans to further extend the role and power of the government has been met with criticism from his opponent, Republican Alf Landon. Coming with the oil industry, Landon wants to see greater economic freedom, while Roosevelt and the Democratic Party want to expand Social Security and ensure economic stability. The election may be a close call or a major victory for the Democrats. All right, so if we elect the Democrats, we get the National Spirit New Deal, which increases stability and infrastructure construction speed. And in the congressional election, the faction supporting the government will face stronger opposition. Okay, and then if we support the Democrats, the Republicans, then the momentum gained for the presidential election is likely to carry over to the congressional election. So of course we would have more support. We gain political power. We get the Standard Oil of California, which is increased speed for industrial research and synthetic resources. And we get a new leader, which our ideology, direct defense, is plus 50%. I want to say, maybe I'm confusing this with the fascist, but I want to say one of these require that you don't have, okay, more than 10% for Communist Party. So this one requires Harry S. Truman to be the current leader. All right. I know that there's one that requires that you don't have FDR. Okay, it was the establish the gold standard, which requires that FDR isn't the president. So that's fine. We don't want to go that way anyway. So we can elect FDR, and I think that'd make the most sense for us, since we're going a communist route. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. That'll increase our stability and infrastructure construction speed. Yeah, let's go ahead and re-elect FDR. Every 2 years, a third of the Senate seats and all seats in the House of Representatives are up for election. All right, so the people have spoken, and the fraction in support of the government gained 2 seats, and in the House we gained 14 seats. Oh, okay, I was thinking that we would lose support. But apparently that's not the case. All right, excellent. So we have a little bit more support. People overall like our policies, which is very good. Once again, we're just about done with the episode, guys. I wanted to get done with the first year here. It would have been a lot quicker if, obviously I haven't been digging so much into the naval side of things, and we haven't even touched the surface of this, guys. There's so much more to do, and we will go ahead and get the carrier fighters as well. I forgot about these. So let's unplace them. Yeah, we'll place them down here. God damn it. Prioritize the naval bombers. So yeah, once we get a factory, it'll go towards there. It could pull a factory for something, but I think we're still pretty short on infantry equipment. Yes, sir. Still pretty short. And we have completed a few things. We've got the WPA done. Excellent. That's more political power. And we're going to go and get the research slot next, of course. We've got the smoke generators pretty quick. Not too challenging to get those. Let's go ahead and take a look at what these are all. Bonuses, passive bonuses, which are great. I love passive bonuses, but in this case, we're looking for ship parts. So we can get the sonar, new depth charges, new torpedoes, and torpedo launcher. Better. Okay, so that's the torpedo launcher. That's just passive effect, as are all of these. All right, so I think we'll probably get the sonar, so we can add those to our ships. I think they're probably the best part for us to get right now. We could also start working on those. Once again, just passive bonuses. I need stuff I can build. So let's get the sonar, guys. 67 days. Can't spend our experience on it, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the ships. I'm sure we have ships training that don't need to be. Yes, sir. All right, so let's go ahead and stop them. All right, keep them training, keep producing experience for us. I'll tell you what, man, this is so much different playing as the United States compared to Japan. A very different experience. It feels such a factor as playing as Japan. So it looks like there might be more choices now. Of course, we can go with speed and reliability, get cheaper production cost for medium and light tanks. We can get increased armor and heavy attack. This one's specifically for tank destroyers. And then we can increase reliability and soft attack. You guys should know at this point that I'm going for speed. My eyes have been opened over the last, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8 campaigns on the channel. Max speed for tanks is ridiculously overpowered, man. If you stack those up, it's so incredibly powerful. It's way better than any attack bonuses or armor. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm all for max speed now. That's what I go for now. Just fast tanks. So let's go for the mobile tank designer. So we'll get that so that when I get those 1936 tanks, because we don't have those yet, we'll have that bonus. And then after that, maybe we'll go after the material designer, since we still can't do industrial concern. No reason to get aircraft designer until we get closer to 1940. And then once again, we need to get that one national focus before we get anything over here. Could change these up, but I need to take a look if there's a national focus that does that. But really, I don't want to change any of those up to war supports higher. I know that's not the most efficient as far as like production wise, but it's more efficient political power wise. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking on that regard. We got the heavy ships done. Excellent. Excited to get one of those built. Let's go and get the light tanks, guys. I think that'd be the best thing for us right now, since we did just get the design company for that. That's the whole reason why I did that. And it looks like we're just about done with our... Oh, we're done. Excellent. Let's go and get rid of that. I can't train any new troops because we just don't have the manpower, and we're short on equipment as well. Finished up the field hospitals. Excellent. Do we want to get more so we can add those more design companies? Yeah, I think we're going to continue down the design company route, guys. Logistic companies a lot better now. I always like logistic companies, but now it reduces fuel usage as well, so even more powerful. So let's get those for our armor units. Radio. Let's get radio detection now, so we can get the radar stations. But I really want the radar, but I don't think you can get that until we're in 1937. I did not realize that. All right, I would have changed up what we're researching, perhaps. Yeah, instead of getting radio detection, since we can't get radar until 38. Yeah, I don't know. I said 37. Yeah, you can't get it until 38, which is really what I want. We're not going to build radar stations just yet. I think it'd be far better to work on production, of course. So let's get the concentrated industry. Since we don't have any progress on that yet. And what was the other thing I just got? Logistic companies. Well, I think we might actually retain that. In fact, I don't think there's anything that unlocks in 1937 that I feel that we should get instead. No, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go ahead and continue working on those. Though I do want to go ahead and add that to our division designs. The division designs are pretty decent for the starting American division designs. Let's go ahead and change these up. Let's get the field hospitals here. We'll likely get the recon companies as well for right now. And then let's go ahead and remove some of these guys here. And let's remove this one. And then get some artillery going, since we have the experience as well. Alright, so that looks good for our 20 combat with divisions. We might make larger divisions in the future. Let's go ahead and save that. That is going to require more guns, less infantry equipment, which is what we're really lacking right now. So that's another advantage to it. I don't think we have anything to put here just yet. Let's go and save that. That will require us to retrain all those guys, but that's okay. I don't think I'm going to use the National Guard division. In fact, I might actually go ahead and take all National Guard divisions and then change them up. Let's just put them to a star so we can see them. Oh, good God. Yeah, I don't see any reason to be keeping all of these here. We need to take a look at what everybody's working on right now. And we'll probably do that as we end, in fact. Yeah, this is completely unnecessary. Let's go ahead and remove a lot of these guys. Oops. Let's go ahead and remove them. All that is going to use all my fucking experience. Yeah, maybe I don't want to do that just now. We don't have any tank division designs yet, though. We need a tank division design. I suppose there's no reason to get one, though, since we don't have any manpower. Yeah, we'll just make adjustments. Yeah, we'll just continue making adjustments here. I think that'd be the best to do. We could change these guys up. Eventually, I do want to do that. But, man, we could get a bunch of manpower by reducing, because, yeah, this is completely unnecessary. We don't need all this. Yeah, that'll save us a bunch of manpower. All right, so we'll do that. Because, yeah, we're just going to be using these guys for their suppression. So, yeah, let's go ahead and save that. And it does use all of our experience, unfortunately. But I think it's worth it for the amount of equipment and manpower that we're going to get from it. So that's good to go. It does mean that divisions are going to have to get retrained. I'm only seeing one right now. Let's get him training up. And I imagine all of these guys are going to have to change up as well. And our production might get changed up too. Infantry equipment's a little bit better. Obviously, support equipment's pretty bad though now. So let's go ahead and just change up how we're prioritizing this. Actually, this is good for the amount of military factories we have. We don't have a lot. Representatives from Montana offer support. All right, let's see what it's saying. A congressional delegation from Montana have approached the government with several suggestions to improve the infrastructure of the state. Federal funding should be made available to upgrade roads and buildings in order to promote commerce between the states. They also noted that support from the government in this would certainly make them more inclined to support the president more directly in his agenda. Well, it's a commendable initiative, I would say. Get more support. We would have to invest in them, I think. Though, yeah, when the decision is selected, we have to invest in them. I mean, we're doing pretty good. We got really good support right now. Obviously, the House is, we're only about half right now. But we got good support in the Senate right now. I don't really feel like this is necessary, getting more support at the moment, especially because we're going communist. So let's just say, let them try to push that through by themselves. Sorry, my friends. Can't be bothered with it at the moment. And we got a new decision available, which we're going to do the Italians. Even if this is only temporary until we go communist, it's going to take us a while to go communist, guys. So 3% bonus is pretty good for 100 political power and allow us to research a lot of these techs, get a nice jump on a lot of techs here early on. You can see we got a 21% bonus right now. Pretty decent, honestly. Let's go ahead and focus on industrial techs. Let's get construction so we can continue to build nice and quick. And we need to get, let me just take a look. I think we're going to get to, once again, I think we're going to get, oops, hovering on the wrong thing, up to 1 million for the fuel silos. While we can't really build military and civilian, we can get more dockyards though. So let's do a few more fuel silos, and then after that we'll work on let me see, I think we need 4 more to get up to about 1 million. So yeah, we'll do 4 more of those, and then after that we're gonna do dockyards. 100% there. Hell yeah, we'll do that, and we'll do over here as well. And that looks solid for right now. Should keep them busy. Oh yes, we are now in 1937. All right, so that's as far as I wanted to get, guys. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move these guys back over to here, though. I bet there's a bunch of troops here that need to get trained. You know what? They don't need to be trained. I'm going to take a wild guess. They haven't got their manpower? No, they've got their manpower. All right. Whatever adjustments we made didn't increase the number of troops, so we don't actually have to train them. Both a good thing and a bad thing. I don't have to move them over, but obviously I'd like the army experience. So yeah, that is actually going to be the end of the episode, guys. Did we finish the? Oh yeah, we finished the the ships, the heavy ship hull. So we're going to want to get our battleships here. So this ship design is going to be the North Carolina class. And we're gonna get a design next episode, guys, because it is the end of this one. It's a pretty long video. So yeah, this will be the North Carolina class, and yeah, that's what we'll do in the beginning of the next episode, so we can start getting some battleships going. And I haven't been paying attention to my ships that are supposed to be training yet. Like this guy's currently done here, so like we should probably merge these guys. I guess we'll stop them training for right now. But yeah, we're going to merge these. And then I wouldn't be surprised if these ones are done as well. Yeah, they are. We do have new ships here, though. So let's go ahead and place them here. And then we're just going to have these guys merge. There we go. So they can help, so they can continue to train. All right. Let's combine these two. There we go. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Man the Guns. I'm honestly just ecstatic to be playing, to be able to show you guys this. There's so much left to show you. Obviously, the whole naval system has been changed up. We haven't even looked at that hardly at all. But we're not going to be able to look into any of that until we get into conflict. We'll end this episode by looking at what everybody's doing. They're, on their national focus. Maritime Colonial Railway here in Canada. Enforcing the Calais Law. It is, if they go this way, then which way would that lead them? Replace weak church with atheist state. It's hard to say because when it's random, what I've noticed is they can go a lot of different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will go down this branch. Sometimes they'll go that and then they'll go down another way. When it's set to random, it's not set to they're definitely going to go one way once they start going that way. It seems like it's every time they make a decision on which national focus to get, it's random. So we might necessarily go somewhere else. I don't know which way that leads him, but I want to say in my Japan playthrough, he got that one as well, and it led him down the communist path, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not seeing communism. Yeah, the Mexican national focus tree is huge, man. Good God. Yeah, so I don't actually know which way that's going, because yeah, this right here would result in them going communist. So either way, I think it really depends on what they go here. Yeah, it's hard to say. We'll just have to watch and see which way they go. Right now, they're looks like more communist support than anything else. So we might have a communist Mexico, which would be interesting. Looking at South Africa, working on South African steel. Australia, South Australian Housing Trust. New Zealand's working on whatever that is, 2NZEF. I think that's it over there. China, nationalism. The Soviet Volunteer Group, Law University. Japan, National Mobilization Law. The Great Purge. Yugoslavia, limited self-government. Local development here. Hungarians are industrial revitalizing. Poland, expansion of new towns. Czechoslovakia, democratic bastion. I guess we haven't paid attention to the German Civil War at all, but this is how it's going. I completely forgot it was going on. It does look like Hitler's losing, as expected. So yes, they are going with the Kaiser, the return of the Kaiser, so they should win here. They just need to get Berlin. It looks like it's taken a little longer to win than I was expecting them to. It's about a whole year so far, but they are winning, so that's what's important. They're currently working on Kaiser work. I don't know. And if they're working on political effort, not that it matters anymore. The Dutch working on finishing a word. You didn't know, I am terrible with pronunciation. King's Party here, as we expected. We kind of already know what all these guys are going for since we set them. France is revising Versailles, because remember, they're going to go fascist. Army primacy here in Italy, and I want to say that's everybody. There's so many national focus trees now, unique national focus trees now, so I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, India. India's free. So Bangalore torpedo, but that's the first thing I'm noticing here is that India is free. Oh, what happened here? Did they free everybody with that direction? That's interesting. Where is this focus? Huh. I don't think that frees everybody. They must have went down this one. They're revisiting the colonial policy. Yeah, I think that frees them. So the UK no longer has any of their dominions. That's interesting. Yeah, looks like they just have Malaysia. Well, it does seem that they still are. Oh, they're in the Commonwealth of Nations. with Canada, South Africa, New Zealand. Okay, so things have changed up a little bit, guys. That's interesting, very interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked at their national focus tree much, so yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So now they're completely independent. That's pretty interesting. We'll have to see if we could take advantage of that at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode, this extra long, ridiculously long episode. I know I'm having a blast already. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. All those things, all those interactions, the comments, the likes, they do help with the search engine, so I definitely appreciate it. Also, go check out some of our other content on the channel. If you like Hearts of Iron 4 content, I've got like 20-something campaigns on the channel, so you should be able to find something that you enjoy, including an American playthrough if you're looking for a democratic one, though once again, that is a pretty old playthrough, so you might not want to watch that one since it is so long ago. So a lot of things have changed with the game. But recently we did a French one. We did last year, I know we did, Germany, UK, and the Soviet Union, as well as a couple mods. So quite a few from last year. If you're into other Paradox games, you just played CK2, a roleplay CK2 campaign, which we are putting on hold for a little bit. And then we played EU4 last fall. And then Stellaris as well, just did a Stellaris series. So lots of Paradox content on the channel, other strategy games as well. If you're into non-strategy games, then check the front page. Everything's kind of categorized based on, the genre of game. So you should be able to find something that you enjoy. If you're looking for any of our links, our social media links, whether it's to like Twitter or Facebook or whatever, all that's down in the description below, as well as our like Patreon and our merchandise store, all that kind of stuff, Twitch, all those links are in the description below. And yeah, if you have any questions about the expansion, feel free to ask below. Since I'm pretty much free to share anything now outside of my official review, I can't really talk about my personal feelings on it, how I like it or not, but I can tell you guys about it, what I've experienced from my Japanese campaign. Once again, watch out for those Japanese videos. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. Hope to see you on the next episode, and thanks for watching, guys.